Welcome back everyone to more of our custom career mode and VR gameplay. We're coming off of a very fun race at Homestead Miami Speedway. It had some twists and turns that I was not expecting, not the least of which is, well, the caution clock was nowhere to be found. I just took a brief look at the footage from that race and it wasn't on there at all. So I'm not sure what happened with that, why it wasn't showing up. I'll have to take a look and see behind the scenes, but I gotta tell you, for the purposes of AI pitting, that might have been the best thing that could have happened, especially after what we saw at Indianapolis, some of the odd stuff there. So we may just leave that off for a few races, see how it works out. Now let's go back and talk for just a minute, then we'll get back to our stats from Homestead. But let's talk for a moment why I decided to begin using the caution clock. In my time in iRacing using the AI, I have seen a lot of issues with the AI pitting. Things such as when it's time for them to pit, they might be running the high side in the middle of 3 and 4 and then instantly slam on the brakes and cut down the track, causing a big wreck. I've seen that numerous times. So things like that make me want them to pit under a more controlled environment, such as a caution. So if I can schedule a caution every 20, 25 minutes, something like that, that would allow everybody to pit together and get rid of any of that behavior, that seemed like the best option. However, we saw at Indy, it created some weird stuff going on with the pit strategy, and some guys didn't even pit under the caution. They waited till it went back green, then they pitted. I mean, there was a lot of things going on. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of different ways to do pit strategy, particularly at a track like Indy where it's so big and the lap times are so long. But I'm just not sure the caution clock is going to work out the way I had hoped it would. I'm not saying that we're getting rid of it altogether right now, but if we continue to see these issues with it, then I may just simply move away from it. I enjoy making green flag pit stops. As I've mentioned before, I'm not good at them. They are definitely a challenge, which I like. That's something I need to spend more time working on if we want to get better finishes. So I like that aspect of it if the AI will simply do their part. Now, if I overcook the entry on a green flag pit stop and wreck, then that's on me. I can live with that. That just simply means I need to do better. I need to work on it. But for the AI doing all sorts of crazy stuff, that is much harder for me to live with. It breaks the immersion, it breaks the fun. But going back to Homestead specifically, the strategy of the AI on when to pit was very different than mine. They all decided to pit pretty much at the same time, within just 2 or 3 laps of each other for the most part, and they essentially ran it out of fuel. That's what they did. And that made sense for them because they weren't losing nearly as much time as I was at the end of a run. So for me, it made the most sense to split the race in half and simply pit it halfway and split it up that way. For them, not so much because if you remember back about halfway into that race, at the point I was expecting the caution from the caution clock, we were losing a couple of spots every lap or two. Guys were just running us down quickly. So I'm very happy with how that turned out on our side as well as for the AI. We ultimately ended up with a great finish. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. First thing we need to do is change the race number to race number 6. So we'll give that a second. It's running its script right now in there. There you go. We see all our numbers pop in there. So we started at the rear. Our incident count was absolutely nothing. I think we did have brief contact, very minor contact with, I want to say it was Stuart Friesen. For some reason, I remember that, if I'm remembering it correctly. But very minor contact, so no incidents. And the best thing about it is I was looking through the list of AI and nobody had any incident points. So there was no real contact in that race. So our finish, 8th position. So that is a very good payday. Now, it doesn't look nearly as good after these last 2 Crown Jewel events show up there, but it was a very good race for us. It was clean, and it was everything we needed it to be. So if we take a moment here before we move forward and we hop over to the classifieds for a moment to take a look at where we are. You can see that 8th, 9th, 11th, 8th, those are all great finishes. We know what happened at Indy. We know what happened at Atlanta with being involved in a wreck. So I'm liking where we are right now. And this is using a skill spread of 110 to 125. Remember, this skill spread that is showing up here is what he is estimating that we would need to use based on several factors, including our vehicle age and so forth. But we're not necessarily going by that because I feel like that spread is a bit too low on the low end. So that's why I've raised it up some to make it more difficult for us. But I am very happy with where things are so far in this season. We are getting some great finishes. And I expect more good things to happen in the future. So we have 2 more races left in this shortened season. If we need to go beyond that, we certainly will, because we are working our way toward a full-time Cup ride. So let's hop over to the classifieds and see what kind of progress we're making. 527,000. We need 630. Obviously, we need more than that, but 630,000 is the absolute minimum. Now, we will make back some amount of money on selling our existing equipment, but not going to be nearly that much money. In fact, let's hop over to the My Race Shop just to show you guys, if you're new to the series, you're not familiar with what we're doing here, then it shows a resale value of $199,000. Now, it figures that on a percentage of our purchase price, which was $252. We're actually going to knock that down much lower than this, maybe half, maybe lower. We'll just have to see how it goes. But if we were to sell right now, then yeah, looks like we would have enough money to do what we need to do. But we're going to go ahead and finish off this season. We'll sell off this equipment. We'll buy this new equipment at age 0. And I think we're going to be in store for a great full season of short tracks, intermediate tracks, as well as the super speedways. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait to get to Daytona in VR. I just cannot wait to see what's in store there. But now let's turn our attention back to the task at hand. We're ready for race number 7 of our initial partial truck season, and it's at Kentucky. Now, Kentucky is a beast. This place, particularly turn 3 on the entry, is extremely difficult. I haven't raced, I don't even know the last time I raced or run any laps around Kentucky, so this is all going to be new to me. So we're going to have to figure out the setup, we're going to have to figure out the line, maybe multiple lines that we can run there. A lot of unknowns. Let's get started. Welcome everyone to Kentucky Speedway, and pretty much everything about this place,
03 in the outside column.
Pretty much everything is just awkward. So far, I've had lots of visual issues at this track, and you'll see those as we get around to the front stretch. Things just simply not drawing in or only drawing portions of them in. Plus, let's consider our starting spot here, or our starting location. We're lined up on pit road facing the infield instead of the fans.
Catch up to car number 03.
Very awkward. Now, we'll get caught up in a minute. This is simply the pit speed limiter that is not applies to the AI, but applies to us. But yeah, there's no crowd that draws in on the front stretch. I just, there's so many issues. And if you have forgotten or weren't aware that Kentucky Speedway was a NASCAR track, or at least a Cup track, you would be forgiven, because this place has essentially been forgotten. It has a storied past in how it got on the schedule to begin with threatening lawsuits and all sorts of things. But here we are. We're going to use it because, well, I have access to it on iRacing, and we're going to see how it works. But just keep in mind, there is a lot of visual issues at this track. So we're going to see what happens.
Car's leaving.
Now, we're going to talk about the setup just as soon as we get to green here.
Green flag, green flag.
All right, let's see how things shake out here at the beginning. Again, you can see there's no crowd up there. There was in practice, which is odd. If that would change, you would think if anything it wouldn't show up during practice, but during the race. But either way, now during practice we were well off the pace. We were dead last in practice. This setup apparently has not been updated in quite some time. It was incredibly tight. So I tried to loosen it up some, and we're going to give it a shot. But I have absolutely no thought that this is going to be an amazing race for us.
Stay on the bottom. 3 wide, you're on the bottom.
So in VR, the track actually reminds me of Chicago with how small it feels. Now obviously the banking is different here, and the overall shape is actually different, but it feels a lot closer to Chicago. It feels very cramped and tight spaces.
Still there.
All right, come on guys.
30.7.
Let's chill out for a little bit. So you can, well, I say that. I was about to say you can easily run turns 1 and 2 on new tires wide open.
Hold your line. Hold your line.
That's in clean track anyway.
Outside. Still there.
And new tires. Now 3 and 4 is very hard to get right.
Slow.
Fastest lap for Smith, 30.7.
Yeah, 30.7. I can't even think about approaching that.
Outside.
Oh, yeah, 45 is way,
Clear.
way off the pace that we can run in turns 1 and 2, which is actually refreshing.
Outside. Got one outside.
Okay, Brian, your refuel window will open
Stay on
on
the
lap
bottom.
24. It will end on lap 61.
Still there.
Trying to get to the inside of the 45. It's one of those cases where I know I'm faster than him, but I got to be faster in the right spots.
Outside.
B20.
Clear.
Don't do it. Okay, that was better. I was expecting him to come down here and basically stop, but he didn't, so that was better.
Outside. Keep to the bottom. Still there.
So we'll see how the tires do over the course of a run. Of course, I have no idea what the AI are going to do,
Stay on the bottom.
but I got a feeling we're going to be exceptionally tight.
P19. That's your fastest lap today.
Stay low. Clear to stop.
Well, at least we passed a few trucks so far. I mean, I'll take that. I was wondering before the race started if we'd have an opportunity to pass like anybody. Oh, there's our good buddy, De Benedetto. And we're going to have some fun with that for a little while. The fact that, I mean, how quickly are you supposed to forget about the fact that he just wrecked you for a win at
Got one
Indy?
outside.
I mean, so
Stay on the bottom. Stay low.
are we 3 wide? No, we're just 2.
Keep to the bottom. Stay on the bottom.
See if we can slide by on the entry of 3. Oddly enough, the entry of 3 and through turns 3 and 4 is where the AI were crushing me in practice. As always, I didn't spend a ton of time, but it became immediately
Last lap
apparent
was at 32.0.
that the AI were a good bit faster than me through there. So we are up to 16th. I'm going to try to figure out turn 3 and 4 here. Maybe even move up the track a little bit. I'm kind of thinking that might be the way to go. But as always, whenever you do that, there are other considerations such as tire wear. Anytime you're running on the track where nobody else is running or is going to run. Look at that, we actually gained here on, by the way, that 23 truck of Infinger, I love that paint scheme. All right, so he just gave me that spot. He wanted nothing to do with the outside lane in 3 and 4. Interesting.
15th place.
All right, Buddy Kofoid having some issues down here. However, I got to think he's going to be okay in turns 3 and 4 because the AI don't seem to want anything. Oh, never mind. He's just going to move out of my way.
Still there. Keep to the bottom.
He's pretty tight on me, but I'm starting to get used to that a little bit, where the AI, if I turn my head
14th.
to the right a little bit, and the AI are just sort of
They're outside.
right there on my door. Now it's just enjoyable. It no longer really shocks me. It's starting to feel normal. Oh, yep, still tight. Wow. All right, so we may have to move around a little bit in 3 and 4. We'll just have to see. Because right now, I'm excited. I'm happy.
13th place. Okay, Brian, you're reeling. Kraus. The gap is now 0.7.
I mean, we're in 13th position on a track that I was fully prepared to run last at. In fact, I thought we might have to back out of this race and try to change the skill spread to lower the bottom end a little bit. All right, so the AI were really out of the gas a lot there because I tried to time it up and see just where they're lifting and how much they're out of the gas, and they're out of the gas a lot. So maybe I'm not as bad off as I thought as the tires start to wear. But something about it, just after that experience we had at Homestead, where our tires were wearing an ungodly amount compared to the AI, it's just got me a little bit apprehensive about long runs. I hope the caution clock works. It should be. I'll put it that way.
That lap was at 32.7.
I'm even pulling him on corner entry at 1 and 2. Wasn't expecting that. Again, 1 and 2 is the easy end of this track.
Outside.
All right, let's try to get down in here nice and easy.
Stop.
Because, well, no, I thought he was going to give it to me. He did not. He's fighting back.
Outside.
We're going to give him plenty of room.
Stay on the bottom. Keep
Nice
digging.
clean race is what we're after.
12.
Stay on the bottom. Clear outside.
So a little bit of a lift there on corner entry, even running the terrible angle we had at it. And we were fine. Getting out of the gas way early. That corner entry is so flat that you feel like the banking is never going to catch you. You're just never going to get to it. Again, the front stretch, this is, I'm not even sure what's going
You've
on
just done
here.
a 32.8.
All right, yeah, we're definitely getting tight. So now the question is, how tight do we
You're
get?
reeling. Great. In. The gap's now 0.6.
And how much does that compared to what the AI do over the course of the run? I mean, we're in 12th position, folks. We're just outside the top 10. So, oh yeah, we had to get out of the gas right there. Trying to move up the track a little bit here, see if that helps anything. Again, I'm not going to be really looking for lap times. He'll tell me every once in a while, but I'm not really asking for them.
Kraus. It's getting closer. The gap's now 0.6.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, they're going to start to close back in on us at some point.
P12.
That's generally how it goes. So we're in 12th. That's not bad. Don't know that that's fast at all. Let's see, we had a 33.16 that time. Comparing that to what we were the lap before, we lost about a tenth or so, I believe, from a quick glance. All right, so there's our 10-minute warning. So how about that, folks? The caution clock is actually working. As to what happened to the caution clock last time, I'm not sure, but when I stopped recording, I took a look and apparently it crashed or something. I'm not sure. It was there before I started. I'll put it that way. But then it, during the race, was not there, so I can only assume that it crashed at some point. Something happened that was clearly not good. So I'm playing around with 3 and 4 with different entries, dragging the brake a little bit, trying anything I can to keep from losing as much.
The gap to Kraus behind is now 0.7. That lap was at 33.1. The gap to Gray ahead is now 0.8.
So I'm judging this mostly based on the guys in front, and then whenever I get a gap to the guys behind me, that helps as well. But here on the bottom, just doesn't seem to weigh. Not through 3 and 4. I mean, 1 and 2 is a pretty easy corner to get through, but even that's getting tight now, particularly center to exit. All right, let's see what we got here. 33.3 was where we were last time, and that was on the bottom through 3 and 4. All right, 33.26. So a little bit faster, moving up the track.
Kraus behind is now 0.8.
Oh, so Kraus falling back a little bit. Let's try it out again, moving up a little bit. Oof, that engine note just feels like we need some people to get out and push. Yep, that one didn't help. We were definitely off the pace there. So we'll keep giving it everything we got, but I see these guys coming now. All right, we are at lap 25. Clip the apron right there a little bit. Wasn't too big a deal though. Wow, it just feels like we're coming to a stop in the middle of 3 and 4 to get this thing to turn. The good news is, while that's definitely slower than the AI around us, it's not that far off the pace, which is a bit odd.
Ryan, that's good consistency. Keep it up.
I'm surprised he's excited about what we're doing since we are losing time.
Right front tire's worn out.
I would expect it to be wearing out. In fact, I thought you were going to be telling me about that before now. That's where it feels best, right there. Putting the left sides right on the edge of that blackened groove, that's pretty much where it feels best in 3 and 4. And where it feels best is probably our best bet with regard to these tires. Somewhere there or below like that, which is pretty much in the middle of the groove. All right, so here they come. How many of them are there?
Got one inside.
About 3, maybe even 4 lined up.
Stay right there. Clear inside. Inside. Stay right there. Still there.
Just thinking back to...
Okay, Brian, pit window is open.
Still there. Stay right there.
Woo, that was maybe a bit higher than I wanted to go that time. Again, I'm going to need some of y'all to get out and push. Give us a little speed. I'm going to have to start shifting gears.
P15, you've just done a 33.9.
Inside. There's the bottom.
We just did a slow lap is what we just did. All right, we're still, I mean, look, we're still in 15th. And we come to a stop down in 3 and 4. I mean, you can see how these guys are pulling away. That's definitely the trouble spot for us.
Your last lap time was at 33.7.
So we're just hanging in there now. We're ready. We're on lap 30. So I would imagine we're going to get the old caution clock. We got our 5-minute warning not long ago. So I would imagine somewhere around lap 33-ish. Maybe a lap or two early, 33, 34. Since we are a little bit slower here. Not much though. This track
now 0.7.
maybe a little bit slower than some of the other mile and a halves, but not too bad. Not Homestead level anyway. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. If I don't, really work hard to hug that bottom, that's what happens to the truck right there. We just drift up the track. It just does not want to turn. All right, so let's try something here. Oh, yeah, we need help. We've got tires. We don't have anything.
Inside.
Yeah, that right front tire is just gone.
Clear.
100% gone. In fact, you can hear we're up in the marbles now.
P17.
Alright, so do we have anything on here? On this particular one? It doesn't appear so. Yeah, Buddy Coforth going up there where I was. I feel you. If you're going up there, it's because that right front tire is dead. It is officially dead.
P18.
Got one outside. Stay on the bottom. Clear outside.
Right, the guy ahead of us is Cell.
Look at that. I mean,
Got one outside.
might as well just come on into the pits. We'll do that slow.
Clear.
Yeah, it looks like I don't have anything mapped to my wheel. I did map a few things to the wheel. It looks like I need to swap those up some. Because there's nothing that will allow me to adjust that track bar. Oh, look at that. Oh, tight, tight, tight. Alright, 1 minute warning. Alright, so where are we? Oh, we're on lap 35, so it actually is going longer than I thought. Which is good, because coming to the end of this race, we want there to be as few laps left as possible right now, as we look at Sky.
Half distance should be about 30 laps remaining on this tank.
Got one inside.
Truck just gradually pushes up the track, letting me know that, nope, there is no right front tire left for you.
They're inside.
P21.
So we're just going to go all the way to the back.
Race car's out.
There we go. All right.
Pit road is closed.
Woo. Okay. Kentucky is just going to be weird all around. Visually, speed, everything. It's just, we did get the caution clock though, so I'm happy about that. But this track is probably the first one I would drop if I had access to more tracks or I could make the schedule work out without it. Simply because of the graphics issues. I'm not worried about the fact that we're slow right now. I can adjust that. We can at least work with it a little bit. Now, I am really wanting, as we're trying to get caught up here, no problem for us because we're almost in the back anyway. I'm really wanting to look under these goggles and see if I can find the keyboard keys and make an adjustment. That's how tight we are. Like that's how off this iRacing setup was. That's why I've got to think that it simply hadn't been updated in a long time. It was incredibly tight. I mean, I loosened this thing up quite a bit. All right, can I get there?
The leader, Smith, is pitting.
Well,
Catch the pace car.
I don't have time to catch the
in
pace
front is
car.
pitting. Pit lane speed limit is 45 miles per hour. Will fuel you to the end of the race.
5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
All right. Well, I didn't quite get there in time. That's what I was trying to do. As we were coming down pit road, I was trying to see under the goggles. There's an area in the nose piece that you can sort of see out of if you look hard enough. That's what I was trying to do. And I was trying to glance at the keyboard. Yeah, that just feels awesome that they're that close to me. But I couldn't quite find the button I needed in time. So that's okay. No big deal.
Catch about 61, car.
I'll try to remap that later on so that we can use it, because what I really want to focus on is just the track bar. That's what I really want to work with. Alright, so as things get reset, looks like we're going to come out in about 20th or so, which is about where we were anyway. So all of my playing around on the entrance to pit road, going too slow, all of that, didn't really seem to hurt us very much. So we are on lap 40, so we'll be taking the green.
Flag, next time by.
Looks like on
Line up
41.
the outside.
Okay, Brian, get ready. Race will resume at the end of this lap.
62, car.
So we're going to have fewer laps on the tires this time, thank goodness. Because that's going to be our saving grace. The AI are killing us at the end of a run. For the last, 7 laps or so of a run, they are absolutely slaughtering us. Just like what we saw at Homestead. So we need to avoid that part of the run, and we might get our wish here. So it looks like we're going to be lining up 21st. I'll take that. Next to the 61. I mean, we've got some nice company back here. I mean, we've got Matt Crafton. I got Stuart Friesen. I see Christian Eckes up there. I mean, there's some good trucks back here. Actually, a little surprised that they're this far back. Maybe they just missed me. Maybe that's it. They just wanted to be near me. All right, going through 3 and 4.
Be ready, we're going green.
Woo. All right, let's see how this thing turns out. I think we can get up once again somewhere around 12th, 13th at our highest. Let's see if we can get up there and then maintain a lot more than we did last time. Well, if they brake check me right now, we are in deep trouble. It is going to be a huge wreck.
Inside.
V19.
Stay right there.
Because we were hammered down there.
Stay right there.
Because as always, the AI are going to pull away from me a little bit at the start. And usually for the first couple of laps, they do that. All right, let's see what happens here.
Stay right there. Near the middle, 3 wide. Inside, still there. Clear to the bottom.
Clear bottom. Did not expect that, but I will definitely take it.
18th.
Got one outside.
All right, so we're hammered down now.
Stay on the
We got to go
bottom.
get what we can get.
Stay on the bottom. Clear outside. Got one outside.
Oh, look out. Almost had a big wreck right there. Everybody's stacking up.
Stay on the
Make
bottom.
a quick stab to the brakes right there.
16th place.
To the bottom. Clear. Outside.
Don't do it, Ekus.
Too slow.
And that's how wrecks happen. That's how they happen. Because everybody is literally trying to get everything they can get.
3 wide, you're on the bottom. Got one outside, still there. 3 wide, you're on the bottom.
Oh, come on, Ekus, you gotta go.
Hold your line. Hold your
Wow.
line.
I kept thinking, okay, he's gonna give me the bottom. He's gonna give me the bottom. He's gonna give me the bottom, and he never did. He just kept playing around with me.
Got one outside, still there. Keep to the bottom.
We're still 3 wide, I think.
Stay on the bottom. Clear.
But no doubt, just like in real life, this is the action. The first few laps after a restart, and then everybody gets spread out. You can see it's already happened
Outside.
in front of us,
V15.
Good stop.
but behind us it has not happened. Not yet, anyway. So where are we? 15th. Wow, that was a lot of work to be into 15th. I mean, unfortunately, I can't really do much to take care of the tires. Because anything I do to try to take care of the tires, we're just going to lose spots now. So I'm trying to ease it up through 1 and 2 a little bit. Not even try to run wide open. Try to back off on entry a little bit in the center, just a little. Don't know if it's going to help at all. But, you know, since we're in traffic here, trying to just do a few little things to maybe, hopefully, kind of, sort of help out. I really do enjoy flirting with that apron in 1 and 2.
Got one outside. Keep low. Clear outside.
Well, I like hearing that clear outside, even if it's not true.
V14.
All right, 22. It's me and you going into turn 3 here.
Got one outside. Clear.
All right, we are up to, well, that's 13th, isn't it? I think, yeah, 13th.
V13.
So we're back to where we were at our highest point. So if we can pass Kofoid here at the entry of 3,
Got one outside.
backed out of it really early, trying to be really easy, because I felt like he was going to do exactly what he did and give us that spot. So no reason to really drive it down in there hard and get real aggressive.
Right.
V12.
Our good buddy DiBenedetto in front of us. All right, how many do we have left? 20 to go, I believe he said.
Got one outside. Keep to the bottom.
Not surprising. He's
Stay
going to run
low.
us close and not give us anything. Wouldn't expect anything different.
Stay on the bottom.
P11.
Clear to stop.
All right, he finally gives way. P11. Oh, I like it. Look, it may not last, but that's why we got to enjoy it that much more while it's here. But again, I'm trying to take care of the tires as best I can, or as best I feel like I can, without losing a lot of speed. Not going full throttle until I feel like the car has rotated. Turns 3 and 4 are just never going to feel right because you're out of the gas so early and so much. I mean, it feels like forever that you're out of the gas there. And I mean completely out of the gas. Because if I stay in the gas any at all, it just makes the car push more.
Got one outside. Clear to stop.
I'm okay with not making that pass. I just essentially did my corner entry as normal there, backing out of it early, and just to get an idea of how that compares to what he was doing.
P11.
Yeah, the tightness is starting to come back in now. So we've run enough laps.
Outside. Clear.
Yep, he's hanging in there though. Spotter said clear, but he wasn't gone yet.
Still there.
He might have been technically not beside us, but he was still there.
You're in the top 10.
10th position. That lap time
Clear.
was 32.8.
All right, so once again, we're making up spots still. We're in the top 10. Don't know how long that's going to last, so let's enjoy it. And we are, what, about 15 laps to go, ish. So now's where we really want these laps to count down. We want these to count down, like, very fast. And we are no longer pulling in on the guys in front of us, and you know what that means. I'm trying to tease that apron a little bit there, seeing if it would help the car to turn. And yes, sometimes I just give up on remembering to say truck and just go with it. And just say, yeah, the car. Well, the guys in front of us are not blowing our doors off. Again, trying to be so easy in 3 and 4. Now, Tanner Gray has gone exactly nowhere behind us, so we're not pulling away from him.
P10. That's good consistency. Keep it up.
Look at that. Our crew chief. I mean, suddenly you're having a good run and he becomes supportive again. Yeah, there's that tightness on the exit of 2. First thing I'm going to do when this race ends is I am going to have a talk with our track bar. And we're definitely going to raise that track bar. I don't want to get into the shocks and the springs if I can help it, particularly the springs because of the coil binding and all of that. I really don't want to go through all that, particularly for one track. So I'll focus on the track bar, maybe rear toe if that's something that we can work on. Not sure where it's set right now. So I'll just look at some things like that, some very easy adjustable things, maybe even the front bar, see what it's got going on as far as the offset and that kind of thing. But just some very quick, easy things. Not looking to.
The lap time was 33.1.
Not looking to rework a setup, that's for sure. You can hear me working that throttle. I'm trying to everything I can to maintain what we have and save those tires. That's the name of the game here for the last 20 or so laps. And I'm trying to judge based on what I see in my rearview mirror and what I see out the windshield. Are we losing a lot of time? Are we gaining time? What are we doing? All right, that was a good 1 and 2. Got rotated nicely on entry, was able to get back to the gas and stay in it, so that's nice. So right now I need him to tell me it's like, oh look, it's 2 to go. That would be nice. I would very much appreciate that, in fact. He's not going to tell me that, but I sure would like him to. Trying to paint that yellow line as best I can. Three and 4, we just try to survive. All right, so obviously the guys in front are pulling away now, but not by huge amounts yet. So I'm hoping we run out of laps before we get to that.
33.2.
But those are the kind of things that go through your head as a driver right about now. When you know what's coming with the tire wear, you know, because I know right now that the longer this goes, the worse we're going to get in relation to the AI. So every lap that we're able to at least roughly maintain pace with these guys in the top 10, I'm a happy man.
That was 33.2.
Yep, flirting with that apron down there again. Just can't help myself. All right, where are we? Okay, about 5 to go. Oh, drove it in too deep to turn 3. So I have a little extra brake. We made it work. All right, so Gray's definitely coming back on us. I don't think I can hold him off.
About to go to strike.
The gap in front is now 1.5 seconds.
Although it would be amazing to hold him off for a top 10, we've already seen how these guys race at the end of the event when the laps are counting down. Yeah, we've seen how they do here in the truck series. All right, so he's coming to the outside. Maybe. He's thinking about it.
Outside. Clear outside.
So we're just going to continue to run as best we can, and if he gets by us, he gets by us. Oh, it's starting to get dark. I'm never quite sure how much of that you guys can see during the race. Oh, and it's getting light again. So we just had a brief cloud cover in turns 3 and 4. But there are some times at some tracks where it just looks completely
All right, Brian.
dark.
Times are pretty consistent.
He's trying to get there. I mean, I'm just going to give it to him, that's for sure.
2 laps to go. Inside. Keep it on top. Clear inside.
I didn't give him very much room that time because I didn't know he was there. All right, is this it? Did you say
2 laps left.
Okay, 2 laps left. Okay. I thought we were coming to the white flag, and I was going to be very excited about that. All right, now let's try to run away and hide. We want this top 10. Tanner Gray, you go away. We're not interested. Whatever you're selling, we don't want.
White flag, one more lap to go.
We want this top 10 at a track where just a few short laps ago, I didn't think that was going to be humanly possible.
Got one outside.
Nah, he got there anyway.
Keep to the bottom.
But he's on the outside.
White flag,
Still
one
there.
more to go. Push, we can get this guy.
Clear.
He's still there. Well, he's still there, but he's behind. Let's see if he comes in with a bonsai move down into 3 and 4. Don't do it. Are we going to hold him off? Indeed, we are. How about that? Top 10 at Kentucky.
10th position.
a
And there's
flag.
the finish.
It's
Good
over.
result, mate. Well done.
Oh, that's
Great job,
absolutely
driver.
awesome. That is absolutely awesome. A top 10 at a track where we were dead last in practice. Woo! Dead last in practice. Not only that, but our tire wear at the very end of the run, or at least the end of the run for our purposes, based on the caution clock. Wow. I mean, I'm going to have a stern discussion with that track bar. It's going to have to get its act together. We're going to have to raise that
What's
considerably.
your speed?
Pit box in 10,
I don't think speed's going to be a problem. So we're going to bring it in here
5.
to the attention of our
3,
crew. There's going to be
2,
many high fives.
1.
I would love to say
Right
I
here.
appreciate the crowd coming out today, but
That's it, go.
well, we didn't get any crowd drawn in. So yeah, we appreciate that from iRacing. No crowd came out to see us today.
P10. There we go. It's over.
Apparently they
Bring
just
it back
felt
round.
like Kentucky was not going to be the track. Maybe that's why they didn't show up. That's what we'll go with anyway. But for all of you who tuned in from home, I appreciate you so much for joining me, and stick around for more custom career mode and VR gameplay.